Dear viewer, Assalamu alaikum. We invite you to join our program, Faces of the Future, Agamir Mukh. This event is organized by UMA TV Online on live view, hosted by myself, Khondagar Islam Ripon. I would like to thank you, Palash Bhai and Mehdi Bhai, for technical support. Tonight, we have two special guests with us, Antara Sharif and Nuria Hor, with us, who will be sharing their experiences for the betterment of our future generation. Through their message to millions, they can influence others to make a difference. So let's welcome to introduce our special guests, Antara Sharif and Nuria Hor. Hello, Antara and Nuria. তোমরা কেমন আছো?
আসসালামু আলাইকুম, আমরা ভালো আছি।
Okay.
জি ভালো আছি।
Good. Thank you. আমিও ভালো আছি। তো আমাদের প্রোগ্রামে ওয়েলকাম টু জয়েন। তো I feel very proud to have here. So we are just discussing, just formal discussion. This is not the official or special discussion, just friendly discussion. I hope some people will benefit from this discussion, especially like younger adults. So now I am going to now Nuria first, and then I will come to Antara. Nuria is currently a young researcher at the University of Melbourne, completing her honors degree in international intervention and peacekeeping. She completed her undergraduate degree of arts and science at Monash University and loves learning, traveling, and telling stories. She currently works as the state director at Oak Tree, a youth-run international development NGO. She also sits on the Victorian Youth Congress, an advisory group to the Department of Premier and Cabinet. Nuria is passionate about the relationships between local community engagement, migration, and international development, focusing on young people, and she is proud to use her Bengali heritage in informing her everyday learning and choice. Wow. Nuria, what a brilliant career you already starting. So let's we just discuss like the thing, like now as the Corona time, actually what are you how are you and what are you doing now?
Thank you, Uncle. Thank you so much as well for inviting me to this talk. Very honored. To answer your question, during this Corona time, I'm doing the same. I'm still studying, I'm still working, and I'm just doing it all from home via Zoom most of the time, and trying to stay up to date and stay healthy and well with my family and with my friends.
That's good. That means pretty much you are busy. So like Nuria, I'll ask like one very critical question first, because I just read your like study. I feel look little bit different, like not the conventional thing. Then like I'll ask like, why did you decide to study what you are studying or do the work what you are doing now?
That's a very good question. Very good question, Uncle. I'm currently studying in my university. I do international studies and politics is my research, and the research is based on peacekeeping and how do we as Australians, make sure that there is peace throughout the whole world, and how do we work with overseas countries. But the reason I'm studying this is because, I don't know, I've been lucky enough to follow what I'm passionate about and what I enjoy. When I first came to university, I did science and arts. I did both. I did learn chemistry and physics, and then I also did social science and humanities. Yeah. And I found for me, it was really important to work with my community and to work with the people that love and support me, and that led me into my social science, and now that has gone to the larger community of the world. That's why I study what I do. And then this study has brought me to the work. So now I currently work at Oaktree, which is International Development Org. So seeing how can we work, how does Australia, how can we help other countries develop and progress? And then I also work with the government. I'm part of the advisory board. So staying with my community and making sure that the government has a youth perspective and also a migrant perspective, because obviously Australia has a lot of migrant populations. We are Bengali and there's so many other cultures here.
Yeah.
So to make sure that the government has someone that's letting them know what our experiences are in Australia. So working both with the local community and the international community. And I just love doing it. Yeah.
Oh, that's like, look how lucky I am today to have you here. Oh my goodness. I think a lot of people, they will just listening your this space, and they will have some better understanding, like about, as you said, peacekeeping study or something like that. Okay, will come more and more. And then one thing, like what and who has inspired you in your life so far?
It's definitely, my community and my family. Being, when we moved to Australia, when we moved to Geelong, you were there when I was growing up, and my parents and my brother and my aunt and uncles, they helped teach me that it's important to care for everyone around us. And I think I found that in my studies and in my social studies and I wanted to make sure this community that we've created, I can keep going in the work that I do. So that's why it motivated me. I wanted to feel like when I do work, I'm so lucky to have this choice and this opportunity being in Australia. I wanted to make sure that the things that I did in my work were things that I loved and things that I enjoyed. So it didn't feel like I was working every day. It just felt like I was living. And then for me, my life is my community and the people that I'm around. So I wanted to make sure that everyone around me was living a happy and well life. So that's why I've ended up doing what I'm doing now.
No, this like fascinating. Like people, what I saw in, like especially VCE, like equivalent to HSC exam, after exam, they just like thinking, oh, I'll go to doctor, I'll go to engineer, I'll go to law. But your area is a bit different. So that's like interesting. And you are already volunteering in this sector, which is amazing. Our program is like, I already discussed with you, like message to millions, like your message or Antara's message, we wanted to reach millions people. You know why? Because if like one coronavirus can infect more than millions people, then why not Antara's and Nuria's space, this volunteer work, can't be spread millions people. That's why our program subheading is message to million. Anyway, so do you feel connected to Bangladesh? Or what is your relationship with Bangladesh? As you are like, I know you are not born in Bangladesh, but as your parents born in Bangladesh. So what type of like connection? What is your inner feelings regarding Bangladesh?
It's a very good question. It's a hard question as well. I think we grew up in Australia, so I feel Australian, but my parents are Bengali and my family is Bengali, so I'm also Bangladeshi. So I think my connection to Bangladesh is always changing. Some days I feel more Australian, other days I feel more Bangladeshi. And I think being aware of that connection is super important. For me right now, my connection is I'm wanting to become more connected. I want to learn more about my country and my roots. I want to learn more about where my parents have come from. And I want to learn more Bangla as well. I want to learn how to read and write it so that one day we can go between Bangladesh and Australia. It's the same. So that's currently my connection. It's a willingness to keep going and become a stronger Bengali Australian.
That's good. That's good. So look, Nuria, like my understanding is, as we are Australian now, but we born in Bangladesh. So our intention will be, we'll serve for Australia, we'll serve for Bangladesh, we'll serve for the universe. Like this is one universe, we'll serve for that. That is our main goal. So now I'm thinking like, what do you want to do in the future? That means how do you see your future as a Bengali Australian? Like,
Uh,
what is your goal? Like, how you are seeing this?
I definitely, for me, I want to keep working in this development community service space. I have this wonderful opportunity where I have the skills and the knowledge to go out and help people. And I think that's so important so that this message that you say, Anka, reaches a million people so that they can go do what they want to do. So I want to keep working in development, and I want to work with Australia, and I want to work with Bangladesh and build that connection. So it is, how lucky are we to both be Bengali and to be Australian, and we can be global citizens. So to make sure that everyone in the world has that potential and ability, and especially our Bengali family and Australian families have this ability to between both beautiful countries.
That's good. Very good. Very good. So, yeah. So, what advice would you give to your youngers, like Bengali Australian? And one tricky question, like, look, I'm here for a long time. Our teenager or like yet young adult, like they have little bit gap, some, not all, gap between parents and teenager. So how we'll minimize or how we develop that relationship between parents and like teenager or young? What is your recommendation to youths and parents? Find it like you'll give the two recommendation, because I'll ask the same question to Antara as well. So because this message will reach to billions people. So, which is very important. So tell me, like, what message you wanted to give to them, parents and uh, uh, younger.
My message, I would start by saying my message to everyone, both parents and younger, is to just remember that everything that you're doing matters and has an impact on each other. And to young people, that for my message would be to make sure that you're following a future that is important and one that you enjoy and that you're happy, and remember that your parents worked so hard to ensure that you can have a safe and happy future. So follow your dreams and follow what makes you happy. And sometimes for many of us, that is medicine, that is engineering, but it's also, there's so much more out there. So go and discover it. And then to parents, it's to make sure that you are there supporting your children, and it's not a fight between your parents and children, it's a journey, and you're there to work together to make sure that the future is bright and that the future for their kids is also bright. And that way the relationship between the two will seem less far apart and it will be more together. To know that you, as parents, you should be there for your children to help them grow, not to force them to become something or force them to grow. It's to help them find their space, and for children to know that their parents are there, and that will help the relationship be stronger.
Then it's all right. Then who will do the main task, like parents or children?
I'm not sure. I think hopefully for us, the youths are the future. We are the future generation. At my work, we always say currently this world has the largest generation of young people in history. We have the most young people ever. So we are the future, and it's up to us to make sure that the future is exciting and bright, and we have the ability and the knowledge to change the future. So I think it's for the young people to take that and to move forward and be strong. And then our parents are there to support and believe in us so that we can go forward.
So then, like, from the I'm in both side, parents side and your side. So then, like, parents will support. You said parents will support, and what they will do, because this message will for all parents. But like in the world, lot of parents, they are listening our like discussion. So what they will do? Tell me again.
But parents to their children.
Yeah.
I think parents, like I said, support and do that by teaching their children about Bangladesh, about the country, about the struggles and wins and victories that they've had, so that we know our roots and we know that, they've worked hard for us, so we should also work hard for everyone else. I think that parents should do that. And then also, be encouraging. I think support comes with love and encouraging, so that whatever decision their kids make, they're able to go forward. I think that's what they should do. So it's a mixture of teaching and learning from the parents as well, to to encourage and see what the children are saying and take that in so that they can change too.
Oh, this is good. Very good recommendation or advice or whatever you say. This is very like important for us, like parents and children both. So Nuria, like I wanted to ask like last question that now, and I will come back to you again. So like, our program, we just designed for like faces of the future. And in Bangla, we said Agamir Mok. But why we just like put the name on it? Because I wanted to see you Prime Minister of Australia. Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Because if you see all over the world, all are migrant people or second generation or prime minister or minister or different type. I wanted to see you in that position. That's why you just put like faces of the future, Agami Mok. After 10 years time, 2 years time, 4 years time, 5 years time, I want to see you as a counselor. I want to see you as a, like now you are like state director of Oak Tree, which is amazing. So okay, I'll come back to you. So thank you very much, Nuria Haq, for your nice and very knowledgeable suggestion, recommendation. Thank you very much. Thank you, Nuria. I will come back again. So now I am going to Antara Sharif. Antara has a master's degree in international development from Monash University. She has been working as a program coordinator at Save the Children Australia. She has been a social and community activist from a very young age. Antara was the president of Bangladesh Youth Group Melbourne, volunteered at any organization working with migrants and refugees. She was the youth representative of the City of Casey Access and Inclusion Committee. She was nominated for City of Casey's Young Citizen of the Year and received highly commended award. Welcome to join Antara. Wow, what a career in this age. I am surprised. Welcome, Antara. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. I'm very like overwhelmed that like I am like having here in front of you, like in this age you have done a lot of things. My goodness, I'm just like impressed. Okay, just like about you and what you are doing now, can you tell me please?
Currently, I'm working at Save the Children as a program coordinator. I look after development and some humanitarian projects in Southeast Asia and also Bangladesh. So I've been lucky to be able to connect with Bangladesh through my work. And of course, now in this Corona day and age, I'm working from home like Nuria is as well, which has its challenges, but it's been interesting times, especially in the development field as well, where a lot of our projects have changed. We had to redesign a lot of projects to meet with Corona. So yeah, it's been challenging times, but also exciting times as well. So yeah, thank you for having me as well in this program.
No, it's all right. Oh my goodness, yeah, very good, Antara, because you are a program coordinator of Save the Children in Australia, so which is very like encouraging for us, like our second generation, like they are doing very good, and as well as not only that, like you both are connected to Bangladesh as well, where our origin is. Like we'll connect all over the world as well. So I hope our message to millions will be successful. This message will go to millions people. Millions people will listen, and they will do the same thing as you and Nuria. my understanding. I am very hopeful. So what motivated you to study what you did and work in the field?
I guess Nuria and I will have very similar answers when it comes to this.
No problem. Yeah, no problem.
I, from a very young age, have always been interested in social and political issues, especially those which affect women and children, as well as minority communities. So for me, it was just the fact that this profession, this area of study would allow me to use my passions and work towards it, which is why I went on to study international studies. I did human rights, and then I went on to do my master's in international development, and I did a focus on gender as well. So I was able to use all of my passions in my study, and now I'm working in the area that I'm very passionate about, which when I went into study in this field, I said to myself that I want to work and study something where when I go to university every day, it won't feel like I'm going to university and I'm just studying for the sake of studying. I want to study something I enjoy. Whenever I'm doing assignments, I want to feel like this is not torture, basically, that this is something I enjoy.
Okay.
You know, when we were younger, we had to do a lot of subjects we didn't enjoy, and it often stressed a lot of us out. So I always wanted to study something that I would enjoy, work in a field that I would enjoy, so that every day when I wake up to go to work, it doesn't necessarily always feel like I'm going to work because I'm doing something I enjoy.
Okay, that's good. That is very fascinating. Like, that's the main thing. Like, if I enjoy something and to study it, and it will be like easier and it will be very effective. Like, potentially everybody has to do it, but unfortunately sometimes we have no option, but we have to. Anyway, so why is it important for you to work for the Australian and Bangladeshi community alongside development and humanitarian work professionally? Because I know you are working for Australia plus Bangladesh, and for my viewer, I'm like informing you something like Antara can read, write Bangla. She can check all the article in Bangla, which is amazing for Bangladeshi community and Bangladeshi parents. So now, Antara, please tell me the story, like why.
I guess for me, it's important to work for both the Bangladeshi and the Australian community because it develops a sense of belonging to both communities, and both these communities have given me so much. Australia has given me a home, it's given me an identity. Bangladesh has given me a home, it's given me an identity. So for me, when I work for vulnerable communities in Australia and in Bangladesh, essentially I'm giving back to communities which have given me so much. And what I do professionally is what I do professionally. I work at a larger scale professionally where whatever I do has a small or large impact in many countries. But when I do smaller tasks where I've volunteered at refugee organizations in a close by suburb, or I've worked with, City of Casey Youth as well, that's more me giving back to a community which has given me so much.
Yeah. That's good. So you told City of Casey. Actually, what do you do there?
I currently do not sit on the board anymore, but when I did, I was the youth representative for the Access and Inclusion Committee.
Okay.
So there we had a lot of discussions on policies or certain things that were happening at the City of Casey that needed youth voices or voices of just women of color, even of Muslim women. So it was a good experience to sit on the board in the advisory committee, with a lot of different communities, a lot of different people, a lot of people from different professional backgrounds as well. And I think from that experience, I learned a lot. I'm not sure whether I was able to give back a lot, but I definitely learned a lot.
Oh, oh, wow. I want 100 Antara and Nuria. If I find like 100 Antara and Nuria, we can change Australia, we can change Bangladesh, we can change the world. Is it true?
I hope so.
Might be 100 Antara and Nuria can make another thousands Antara and Nuria.
I think, Uncle, if we have 100 of different Antaras and Nurias and other Bengali Australians, we'll make bigger change.
We'll change and we'll find it out. Okay. After this session, we'll declare something. We'll find it out. Okay. Next question, like to Antara, that is like, how can those studying at university or doing VC get involved in the community or humanity work? Like what I'm saying, like how can those studying, like what you study, that doing a VC get involved in community and humanitarian work?
For those who are currently studying VCE and looking into career options, I'm going to be very biased and say that international studies, human rights, international relations, politics, these are great areas to go into. These are great subjects to take up. Okay. I know traditionally these are not subjects that the Bangladeshi youth are used to, but they have amazing career options. You can go work in the development humanitarian space. You can go work in local and federal government. You can have careers all around the world in different areas. You can go work in different embassies. You can be policy advisors. So for me, the easiest way to get involved in this work is by taking up these courses at university. There are also other ways to get involved. If you're already at university, say you're studying engineering, there are a lot of NGOs, Australia and worldwide, who require engineers for their development work. If you're studying medicine, there's a lot of organizations like Save the Children who deploy doctors during emergency situations, during humanitarian crises. So you can still get involved in any career that you take. If you're looking to volunteer, there's so many organizations locally who need volunteers, whether that's mentoring migrant and refugee youth, whether that's working with homeless youth, or whether that's just sitting on an advisory board for youth voices to be heard. So there's many, many ways anyone can get involved.
Yeah, now I'm just like with both of you, like speech, I find out one thing, like humanitarian, like that, like we are working for humanity. So Corona is acting to destroy human. Is that right? And we are acting to save the human. So we are like Corona, but we'll act like against the Corona. You know, can I make you understand what I'm saying? Like Corona is destroying like more than million lives, but we'll try to save more than million lives through our positive work, through our message, through our, like, I heard the one story, like when I have a Japanese colleague who just came here to train under me 5 days. And I asked, like, why Japan is very like technological sound or like developed country. My friend said, colleague said, like, like they said, he said that Japan, every employee, they put extra hour for the government every day. So you two are doing extra work. I heard Antara is doing some voluntary work for her job or your job, for your like higher study, and Nuria has the same. So then we will give the extra hours to the government, extra hours to the community, extra hours to the humanity. Is that right? So this is our today's message. So Antara, what I asked Nuria, which question, like what you are thinking, the relationship between parents and teenager, like how will develop, like in parents perspective and teenager perspective, like for us and for you. So tell me, like 2 recommendations you'll give, 2 messages you'll give.
I would say communication is the key. We always need to communicate how we feel, what we're thinking. Often, sometimes our parents might think that we don't understand them, and then sometimes we think that they don't understand us. So there's always that gap, and that gap can easily be mended or you know, come close to being mended through communication. And that is the key. We always need to communicate, even if it means that my parents don't understand my point of view, I still need to communicate it. If my parents, you know, if I don't understand their point of view or don't see what they're saying, they still need to communicate that to me. And I think that's how we can bridge a lot of the gap that we often have with our parents.
Okay, so to overcome this gap, you said the communication is the main barrier?
I wouldn't say communication is the barrier. I would say lack of communication is the barrier.
Okay.
Often we don't feel comfortable communicating certain things. You know, often our parents don't feel comfortable communicating certain things. And when we don't do this communication, that's when things can often go wrong. For example, if I wanted to not study international relations and wanted to study something else, I would need to communicate that and not just keep it in within myself. And my parents thinking that, oh, she's just going to go into this field. So we need to communicate different things at different times, and it's important that we do communicate all of those things.
This is very, like, I'm just trying to find out the underlying cause or underlying something. Like both sides, we need to be more thinking, and like both sides need to concentrate to build up our relation through to minimize our communication gap.
Exactly.
So, yeah, good. Then I think we can, I'm pretty sure like our parents will understand your suggestion or recommendation, as well as like youth or teenagers especially, who are like, we were teenagers before, so then always not listening tendency, but like through the to filling up the communication gap, I think it is possible. And I think my understanding, everything is possible. So now we can do some discussion. As I told you, like our program is Agamir Mukh, like faces of the future. So I'll ask first Antara and then I'll go to Nuria. That's the one question. So we'll discuss this question in Bangla, because why we are discussing in Bangla, my understanding, like you're like now younger generation, they need to know, they know English and Bangla both to develop our Bangladesh. That's why our program name is Agamir Mukh in Bengali. So now I'm saying Bangla. So Antara, তুমি আমাকে বলো যে ইংরেজির সাথে সাথে আমাদের বাংলাটা কেন শেখা জরুরি আমাদের বাচ্চাদের জন্য বা তোমাদের ইয়াঙ্গারদের জন্য?
বাংলাটা শেখা আমার কাছে মনে হয় অনেক ইম্পর্টেন্ট, কারণ ধরেন আমরা যখন বাংলাদেশে যাই, আমরা যদি বাংলাতে কমিউনিকেট না করতে পারি আমাদের ফ্যামিলির সাথে, সেখানে একটা গ্যাপ হয়ে যায়। তখন আমরা হয়তো গিয়ে ইংলিশে কথা বলতে পারি, আমার ফ্যামিলি বাংলাদেশে যারা থাকে ওনারা ইংলিশে কথা বলতে পারে, আমার কাজিনরা ইংলিশ জানে, নুরিয়ারও সেম। তো আমরা তো গিয়ে ইংলিশে কথা বলতে পারি, কিন্তু সেই কানেকশনটা কখনোই হবে না আমরা যদি সবসময় গিয়ে ইংলিশে কথা বলি, যেটা আমরা যখন বাংলাদেশে যাই, বাংলায় গিয়ে কমিউনিকেট করি, সেই সেই কমিউনিকেশনটার একটা আলাদা মূল্য আছে। আর আমার কাছে মনে হয় যে ইংলিশ তো আমরা জানবই, কারণ এটা আমরা অস্ট্রেলিয়াতে থাকি, আমরা না জেনে কোথায় যাব বেসিকলি। আমরা স্কুলে যাই, স্কুলে গিয়ে ইংলিশে কথা বলতে হয়, তারপরে কাজে যাই, ইউনিভার্সিটিতে যাই। আর আরেকটা হচ্ছে যে ইংলিশ হচ্ছে একটা কলোনাইজিং ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ।
আচ্ছা,
আমার কাছে মনে হয় যে আমার কলোনাইজারের ভাষা শেখার মধ্যে কোনো প্রাইড নাই, কিন্তু আমার নিজের ভাষা শেখার মধ্যে অনেক প্রাইড আছে, কারণ এই ভাষার জন্য অনেক মানুষ স্ট্রাগল করেছে, যুদ্ধ করেছে।
হ্যাঁ, আমাদের 21শে ফেব্রুয়ারি শহীদ
হ্যাঁ।
দিবস যেটা আছে যে ইয়েস।
সেটাই। আবার আপনি যদি দেখেন যে আমাদের পৃথিবী থেকে অনেক ভাষা কিন্তু হারিয়ে যাচ্ছে, আমাদের বেশি দূর তাকাতে হবে না। অস্ট্রেলিয়াতে অনেক ইন্ডিজিনাস কমিউনিটি আছে যারা তাদের নিজের ভাষায় কথা বলতে পারে না, তাদের নিজের ভাষাগুলো হারিয়ে যাচ্ছে। বাংলা হয়তো ওইভাবে হারিয়ে যাবে না, কিন্তু যেটা হবে যে আমরা যদি বাংলাটা চর্চা না করি, তখন এটা ছোট ছোট ফ্যামিলি থেকে হারিয়ে যাবে। বাংলা ওইরকম ভাবে এক্সটিংক্ট হয়ে যাবে না, অনেক ভাষা কিন্তু এক্সটিংক্ট হয়ে যাচ্ছে বা অলরেডি হয়ে গিয়েছে। বাংলা হয়তো সেইভাবে এক্সটিংক্ট হবে না, কিন্তু যেটা হবে যে ছোট ছোট ফ্যামিলি থেকে এটা চলে যাবে। তো আমার কাছে সেজন্য মনে হয় যে নিজের ভাষা শেখাটা খুবই জরুরি, যেন এই ভাষাটা হারিয়ে না যায়, যেন আমরা যখনই বাংলাদেশে যাই বা নিজের দেশে যাই আমরা কমিউনিকেট করতে পারি। তো সেই কারণে আমার কাছে মনে হয় যে বাংলাটা শেখা খুবই জরুরি।
আমি সত্যি কিছুটা ইমোশনাল হয়ে গেছি তোমার কথাতে, যে তুমি যে মেসেজটা দিলা, এটা আমি নুরের কাছে আসতেছি 1 মিনিট। সেটা হলো যে আমরা দেখো আমাদের বাংলাদেশে যারা আছে, আমাদের সব রিলেটিভস আছে, অনেকে আমাদের টেন্ডেন্সি যে না ওদের বাংলা দরকার নাই, ওরা ইংরেজি শেখাটাই ইম্পর্টেন্ট। অথচ আমরা এখান থেকে আমরা বলতেছি যে আমাদের বাংলাটাও আমাদের ইম্পর্টেন্ট, বিকজ আমাদের লাইক বাংলাদেশি 170 মিলিয়ন পিপল ইন বাংলাদেশ। অস্ট্রেলিয়াতে আছে আমরা 26 মিলিয়ন পিপল, আর সারা ওয়ার্ল্ডে আছে 7.8 বিলিয়ন পিপল। সো এই যে আমাদের বাংলাদেশে 170 মিলিয়ন পিপল আছে, এরা সবাই যদি মানে ইংরেজি এবং বাংলা, মানে ওরা তো বাংলা জানেই, কিন্তু এই যে টেন্ডেন্সিটা যে বাংলাটা আমরা যে রেসপেক্ট করতেছি, এটা যদি রেসপেক্ট করি, তাহলে আমাদের ফিউচার জেনারেশন আরো অনেক 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 বেটার হবে। তো তুমি যেভাবে বাংলা আমাদের সামনে বললা, আমি আশা করি আমাদের সকল প্যারেন্টসদের প্রতি, অস্ট্রেলিয়ান, কানাডিয়ান, আমেরিকা, সিঙ্গাপুর যারা দেখতেছেন এই প্রোগ্রাম, সকল প্যারেন্টসদের আমাদের কাছে রিকোয়েস্ট, আমাদের বাচ্চাদেরকে বাংলাতে শেখার এনকারেজ করেন। তাহলে দেখেন এখন অন্তরা সে ওর অনেক ফাইল, অনেক প্রজেক্ট সে বাংলাতে চেক করে, সে বাংলাতে লিখতে পারে, বলতে পারে, আপনারাই দেখলেন। সো এটা গুড মেসেজ। সো এবার নুরিয়া, তাহলে তুমি যে তোমার কথায় প্রথম দিকে আসছিল, যে তোমার কথা ছিল যে কানেক্টেড টু বাংলাদেশ অর রিলেশনশিপ উইথ বাংলাদেশ অর বাংলা ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ, তো তুমি কিছু বলো।
জি, আচ্ছা, আমি অন্তরের মতন এত সুন্দর বাংলা বলতে পারবো না,
আমি ইংরেজি ওইরকম সুন্দর বলতে পারি না তোমার মতো।
But I একদম agree everything that Antara said. I 100% agree. And for me, যখন আমি চর্চা ছিলাম, আমি একদম বাংলা বলতে চাই না। আমি বাঙালি না, আমি Australian. I lived in Australia. I want to speak English. And the reason why now, for me, I want to learn more Bangla because it's my motherland, it's my mother country, and it's important. And exactly like Antara said, আমাদের এখন চিন্তা হয় যদি আমরা প্রফেশনাল হইতে চাই, যদি আমরা ফর্মাল হইতে চাই, আমরা ইংলিশে বলতে হবে। কেন ইংলিশে কথা বলতে হবে? বাংলা কেন প্রফেশনাল হইতে পারে না? বাংলা কেন একাডেমিক হইতে পারে না? For me, that's why it's so important that my Bangla skill becomes better and becomes increases. So, English, it's the colonizer's language, and why can't Bengali be a big important language either? And then the other thing is like, I'm Australia ashti for safety, for security, for opportunity, but with that, our parents are scared that they're going to lose Bangladesh. And if we can't speak Bengali, we are going to lose Bangladesh. And what are my children going to speak? Like Antara said, English, we're all going to be able to speak English, but it's important that I need to learn Bangla. So when my kid, Amar bacha Bangla kote bolte parbe, ora bacha Bangla kote parbe, and in 100 years, when this message has gone to 1 million people, or shobai Bangla, I English bolte parbe, dujon ekshate bolte parbe. That for me, that's so important. So that's why I want to keep learning Bangla. So eventually, আমি অন্তর মতন আঙ্কেলের মতন এত সুন্দর বাংলা বলতে পারবো।
না, আমিও তো সুন্দর বলতে পারি না। It's a very good answer, Nuria. Oh, amazing! Like there's very very good answer. আমি একটা ইনফরমেশন দিতে চাই প্রোগ্রামের মাধ্যমে। আমাদের মেলবোর্ন ওয়েস্টে অর্গানাইজেশন ভিক্টোরিয়ান বাংলাদেশি কমিউনিটি অর্গানাইজেশন, আমরা ওইখান থেকে আমরা ওইটাদের সাথে জড়িত। ওটার সাথে আমরা বাংলা ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ দিয়ে আমরা অনেকটা ফাইট করেছিলাম তোমার কাউন্সিলের সাথে। এটা 2014-16 থেকে শুরু হয়েছে। তো এখন উইন্ডাম সিটি কাউন্সিল আমাদেরকে $20,000 গ্র্যান্ট অ্যাপ্রুভ করছে বাংলা ভাষার জন্য, মনুমেন্ট তৈরি করার জন্য, শহীদ মিনার করার জন্য। থিঙ্ক অ্যাবাউট দ্যাট, যেখানে অস্ট্রেলিয়া গভর্নমেন্ট ইজ থিঙ্কিং বাংলা, উই পিপল আর ফরগেটিং বাংলা। দিস ইজ দ্য মেসেজ। আমাদের অনেক মেসেজই আছে মিলিয়ন পিপলের কাছে, আমরা দিতে চাই একটু একটু করে। তো যাক, আমরা প্রায় প্রোগ্রামের আমরা একটু শেষের দিকে যাচ্ছি। তা যাওয়ার আগে আমি একটা জিনিস বলতে চাচ্ছি, এই প্রোগ্রামের মাধ্যমে অন্তরি আর নুরিয়া, যেটা তোমাদের সাথে আমরা ডিসকাস করছি, আমরা আজকে প্রোগ্রামটা ডিজাইন করছি ফেসেস অফ দ্য ফিউচার, আগামীর মুখ। আমরা এই প্রোগ্রামটা বেসিক প্রোগ্রাম হিসাবে করে আমরা নতুন নামে কিছু প্রোগ্রাম শুরু করব। যেমন আমাদের নেক্সট প্রোগ্রাম, তোমরা সেখানে থাকবা, নুরিয়া অথবা অন্তরা উইল বি প্রেজেন্টার, সামওয়ান উইল বি গেস্ট, এন্ড প্রোগ্রামের নাম হবে লেটস স্টার্ট, চলো শুরু করি। তোমাদের কাছে কেমন মনে হলো আইডিয়াটা?
Yeah, Uncle, I think it's a very good idea. It's ওই নাম চলো শুরু করে, আমরা কেন why haven't we already started? আমাদের সব skills আছে, abilities আছে, আমরা কেন এখনই করতেছি না? So it's a very good name. আমরা শুরু করে, let's start helping our community, let's start working with Bangladesh. I think it's a very good idea that we just start.
Good. অন্তরা, আমরা এটা কি শুরু করতে পারি যে নেক্সট ডে?
এটা আমার কাছে মনে হয় it's a very good idea. Anything which will help empower our community, make our community better has my full support.
Fantastic. Our target, message to million. That's the main goal. আমরা তো খুব বেশি পিপলের কাছে রিচ করতে চাই না, because 7.8 billion people in the universe, in the world. Australia has 26 million, Bangladesh has 170 million. So our expectation only 1 million, which is very like minimum target. So let's do it, will be our next program, and we'll like declare very soon. So now ধন্যবাদ নুরিয়া এবং অন্তরা তোমাদেরকে আজকে প্রোগ্রামের জন্য। এখন আমাদের সাথে আমাদের টেকনিক্যাল সাপোর্টে আছেন মামুন বদ্দুদোজা পলাশ ভাই এবং মেহেদি হাসান ভাই। তো ওনাদেরও তোমাদের কাছে কিছু কোশ্চেন আছে, কোশ্চেন আনসার, জাস্ট ফর্মাল ডিসকাশন। সো ওনারা কি ফিল করতেছে তোমাদের এখানে দেখে? আমি তো বললাম, ওনারা একটু বলো যে তাদের কি কোশ্চেন আছে তোমাদের কাছে, তোমরা দেখো। হ্যাঁ পলাশ ভাই, আপনার কোনো কোশ্চেন থাকলে বলেন প্লিজ।
মনে হয় তুমি মিউটে।
হ্যাঁ পলাশ ভাই।
Sorry. Thanks, Ripon Bhai and Nuria and Antara. You have done excellent job, excellent program, and already couple of thousands view, I believe. Though it will show after the program finish anyway. So before final thanks, I would like to ask one question, both of you. When you have last went to Bangladesh? Last time, how many years ago?
আমি গত বছরই গিয়েছিলাম।
তুমি কত বছর গিয়েছো? And নুরিয়া কবে গিয়েছো last?
আমি 2017 এর শুরুতে গেছি।
আচ্ছা, এখন আমার মেইন কোশ্চেনটা, তো বাংলাদেশে ভালো লাগছে অবশ্যই, এটা আমি আর কোশ্চেন করব না। আমি যেটা কোশ্চেন করতে চাইছি, টেকনোলজিক্যালি তুমি অস্ট্রেলিয়ার চেয়ে বাংলাদেশকে কি কি দিক দিয়ে পিছনে দেখছো? যদি একজন করে বলতা, অন্তরা যদি প্রথমে বলো, তারপরে নুরিয়া। টেকনোলজিক্যালি, লাইক ধরো ইন্টারনেট, লাইক ধরো আদার টেকনোলজি, লাইক দ্য রোডস থেকে এরকম মনে হয়েছে এটা টেকনোলজি, যেমন ধরো এখানে আমাদের সব ট্রাফিক সিস্টেম গুলো আছে, বাংলাদেশে ওরকম নাই, হ্যাঁ, বা এরকম কি কি মনে হয়েছে তোমার কাছে, তোমাদের কাছে?
আমি বলবো যে বাংলাদেশ আসলে টেকনোলজি ওয়াইজ পিছনে না। আমার কাছে মনে হয় বাংলাদেশ is on par with Australia, if not more advanced in some cases. আপনি যদি দেখেন যে অনেক সময় আমরা যখন ভিক্টোরিয়ার একটু রুরাল এরিয়াতে যাই, বা ধরেন গ্র্যাম্পিয়ান্সেই আমরা গেলাম, গ্র্যাম্পিয়ান্সে গেলে আমরা কিন্তু অনেকে রিসেপশন পাই না ফোনে, কিন্তু আমি যখন আমার নানার বাড়িতে যাই, বা নানার বাড়ি আমার পাবনায় যাই, বা ইভেন গ্রামের দিকে কোথাও যাই, তখন কিন্তু আমি ফুল একদম 3G পাই বা 4G পাই। তো আমার কাছে মনে হয় না যে বাংলাদেশ ওই দিক দিয়ে কখনো পিছিয়ে আছে, বরঞ্চ আমার কাছে মনে হয় they're more advanced in technology wise in some cases. আর রোড সেফটি, এটা আসলে বাংলাদেশে যখনই আমরা রাস্তায় বের হই আমার অনেক ভয় লাগে, আমি বাংলাদেশের রাস্তা পার হতে পারি না। It's a very scary situation, very scary experience. তো সেই দিক থেকে আমার মনে হয় বাংলাদেশ বেটার হতে পারে, অনেক দিক থেকে বেটার হতে পারে। আমার কাছে মনে হয় যে both countries have a lot to learn from each other. আমি বলবো না যে one country is more behind than the other. There's ways that we can learn from each other. Obviously, social security wise, but political base হয়তো বাংলাদেশ একটু বেটার করতে পারে, in some cases অস্ট্রেলিয়া একটু বেটার করতে পারে বাংলাদেশের মতো। তো আমি ওইভাবে বলতে চাই না যে one country is behind and one country is forward.
নুরিয়া কিছু বলবা? Thank you, অন্তরা।
No, I agree with Antara, but I think to answer your question, so when I last went to Bangladesh, I brought my Australian friends with me. I'm actually gesi Bangladesh ke dekhte, and ora ki dekhse, ami ki dekhsi. I think first of all, I think Bangladesh traffic onik manush ase. The population obviously is a big issue, and that I think causes issues of waste and traffic jam. And I think waste is a big problem in Bangladesh. But like Antara said, when you look at superficially, when you look at the first place, it seems like Bangladesh is a big waste problem, a big population problem. But if you look at Australia, per person, per capita, we produce more actually. So that's the thing. So then for Bangladesh, it's not a question of, maybe there's some culture change there now, thinking that we don't throw as much or we don't waste as much, but maybe there's a system change there, or there needs to develop a system to handle such a big population. It's not necessarily a problem in Bangladesh. It's that something needs to change, because we're using Australia's system, but Australia has a population of 20 million, so it works. But Bangladesh has a population of 170 million, so why would that work in Bangladesh? It doesn't make sense. So it's not necessarily a Bangladesh is behind. It's just Bangladesh is different to Australia. So aki jinish keno use korbo আমরা? That's the question. হ্যাঁ,
আসলে আমার কোশ্চেনটা জিজ্ঞেস করার উদ্দেশ্য ছিল হচ্ছে যে বাংলাদেশে, কারণ তোমরা হচ্ছে নেক্সট জেনারেশন অস্ট্রেলিয়ান, আর বাংলাদেশ কিন্তু প্রতি বছর অনেক বিদেশি কনসালটেন্ট যায় যারা বাংলাদেশি বিভিন্ন প্রজেক্টে কাজ করে। হ্যাঁ, তো তোমরা যদি বাংলাদেশি নেক্সট জেনারেশন হয়ে বাংলাদেশের প্রবলেমগুলো আইডেন্টিফাই করতে পারো, মেবি লাইক বাংলাদেশ ক্যান হায়ার ইউ the government level, or how you mean, not only you two, I'm saying, just the students or like the experts who are like outside Australia. That's why like আমি কোশ্চেনটা আস্ক করলাম যে কি তোমরা যদি বাংলাদেশের প্রবলেমটা এখন থেকেই জানো, তোমাদের এই জেনারেশন, তাহলে ইউ ক্যান সলভ বেটার, বিকজ ইউ বেসিক্যালি ফ্রম বাংলাদেশ, এবং এবং তোমাদের টেকনোলজি তোমরা অস্ট্রেলিয়ান এনভায়রনমেন্টে বড় হচ্ছে বা ওয়েস্টার্ন ওয়ার্ল্ডে বড় হচ্ছে। আর বাংলাদেশের প্রবলেমটা যদি এখন থেকে জানো, হোয়াট ইজ দ্য প্রবলেম, যেমন ধরো এগ্রিকালচারে বাংলাদেশ হয়তো বা অনেক টেকনোলজিক্যাল অনেক ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড আছে, আবার চাইলেও ইচ্ছা করলে অস্ট্রেলিয়ার মতো বড় বড় ট্রাক্টর ইউজ করতে পারবে না, কারণ ওই ছোট ছোট গ্রামে যেতে পারে না। বাট আমি যেটা বলতে চাচ্ছি যে কি তোমরা যদি ওই জিনিসটা আইডেন্টিফাই করতে পারো যে কি কি ধরনের প্রবলেম, যেমন ধর অফিসে যদি যাও দেখবা যে এখনো হয়তো বা অনেক ফাইল ওয়ার্ক হয় ইনস্টিটিউট অফ, যেখানে এখানে অনেক বেশি কম্পিউটারের ইউজ হচ্ছে, আইপ্যাড ইউজ হচ্ছে, আইপ্যাডে এন্ট্রি হচ্ছে, যেগুলো বাংলাদেশে হয় না। জাস্ট এই জন্য জিজ্ঞেস করলাম আর কি। ধন্যবাদ তোমাদের
Uncle,
দুজনকে।
add to that.
মেহেদি ভাইয়ের কোনো কোশ্চেন আসছে?
Oh,
মেহেদি
sorry.
ভাই?
জি
ধন্যবাদ তোমাদের দুইজনকে, অনেক ভালো কিছু কমেন্টও আসছে। আমি মানে একটু চাইল্ড পলিসিটা নিয়ে একটু আলাপ করতে চাই। সেটা যে একটা শিশু জন্মগ্রহণ করছে উন্নত বিশ্বে অথবা দরিদ্র দেশে, অথবা একটা ধনী বা তার বাবা ধনী অথবা একটা দরিদ্র বাবা, তা আসলে চাইল্ডদের ইকুয়াল অপরচুনিটি পাওয়া উচিত, তার লেখাপড়া, খাদ্য। যেমন অস্ট্রেলিয়া একটা চাইল্ড পলিসি আছে। তা তোমরা দুজনকে মনে করো যে যারা দরিদ্র দেশ অথবা দরিদ্র ফ্যামিলি, ধনী দেশ, সবাই এই চাইল্ড গুলাকে ইকুয়াল একটা অপরচুনিটি দেওয়া উচিত। আজকে বাংলাদেশ স্বাধীন হয়েছে অনেক বছর হলো, কিন্তু সমস্ত শিশুকে যদি সবকিছু ডেভেলপমেন্টটা শিশুর দিকে ফোকাস করা হতো, এই যে যে শিশুগুলো জন্মগ্রহণ করছে তাদেরকে প্রপারলি ডেভেলপ করলে তারা কিন্তু আফটার 20 ইয়ার্স সে দেশটাকে ডেভেলপ করে দিতে পারে। এটা তোমাদের দুইজনের কাছে ইন্ডিভিজুয়ালি, প্রথমে অন্তরা, তারপরে রুইয়ার কাছে এই কথাটা জানতে চাই।
না,
অন্তরা।
জি, আপনি যেটা বললেন ইটস ট্রু যে সবাইকে ইকুয়াল অপরচুনিটি দেওয়া হয় না। আমার কাছে অলসো মনে হয় যে ধরেন অস্ট্রেলিয়াতে চাইল্ড পলিসি আছে, we focus on developing children, around protecting the rights of children. It's become the norm. Bangladesh আমার কাছে যেটা মনে হয়, even through my work, is that we know all of this, এই পলিসি গুলো আছে, বাট যেটা অস্ট্রেলিয়া আর বাংলাদেশকে একটু ডিফারেন্সিয়েট করছে সেটা হচ্ছে কালচার। লাইক এটা আমাদের কালচারের মধ্যে নাই যে চিলড্রেন হ্যাভ রাইটস, ওইভাবে এটা আমাদের কালচারের মধ্যে ওইভাবে নাই যে চিলড্রেন হ্যাভ আ ভয়েস, যে একটা 5-year-old-এরও যে একটা ভয়েস আছে, they have an opinion, they are an individual. This is not within our culture as much as it is within Australian culture, where a child's voice, a child's opinion is so prioritized. So এটা আমি বলবো it's more cultural, but আপনি যে বললেন যে child policy বাংলাদেশে আছে, it's just a matter of how we practice it and how we use it.
ধন্যবাদ অন্তরা। আমি নুরিয়ার কাছে যেটা জানতে চাচ্ছি সেটা যেমন যে একজন বাবা, তার যদি 5টা সন্তান থাকে, কেউ খুব ধনী কেউ খুব দরিদ্র, সে সবার চোখে দেখে সবার জন্য। তা অস্ট্রেলিয়া কিন্তু দেখে ভালো চাইল্ড পলিসি আছে, সে প্রত্যেকটা বাচ্চার জন্য চিন্তা করে। বাংলাদেশ সহ যারা ডেভেলপিং কান্ট্রি বা দরিদ্র দেশ, মানে গভর্নমেন্টের চিন্তা করা উচিত এই বাচ্চাটা সে গভর্নমেন্টের সম্পদ। মানে এখানে যেমন চিন্তা করে বাবা মার পরেও গভর্নমেন্ট চিন্তা করে সে আমার অ্যাসেট। মানে তোমার সাজেশনটা কি বাংলাদেশ এবং আদার্স দরিদ্র কান্ট্রি যারা, তাদের গভর্নমেন্টকে আসলে কি করা উচিত সমস্ত বাচ্চারা যেন একটা ইকুয়াল এনভায়রনমেন্ট পায় তার গ্রোথের জন্য?
Yeah, I agree with what Antara is saying, that the convention is already there. Like obviously you have the United Nations conventions of the child and আমাদের right আছে, children and young people আমাদের right আছে, but the question is আমরা কেমন এটা implement করবো বাংলাদেশে, কেমন দিব এইসব opportunity. And I think, for example, the work that I do at Oak Tree, so it's international development, so we work in Cambodia and East Timor to give opportunities to young people. And I think to do that, it's to trust children and young people that they can make changes. For example, 10 years ago, you wouldn't see someone who's 22 as a state director. But what this means is that I can make changes and have the power. So it's trusting young people. So in terms of Bangladesh and other countries, it's to make opportunities for young people so young people can take them, so that in 20 years and 30 years, they are doing the same to the children as well. So it's a slow change, but we have to do it systematically and create positions and create opportunities and make pathways so young people and trust young people to make the changes for themselves as well, to empower them. Like Antara said, we have the right, but we also have the power to do it as well. So that's what Bangladesh and every other country needs to focus on.
Thank you, both of you. You are our next generation. Our next generation will lead the world, and we will have a better world. Thank you, both of you.
Thank you, Mehdi bhai and
And-
Palash bhai. আমাদের এই ইন্টারেক্টিভ ডিসকাশন হোপফুলি মানে আমাদের যারা ভিউয়ার ওনারা এনজয় করতেছে বা করবে, কারণ আমাদের এই মেসেজটা আস্তে আস্তে যাবে। তো আমাদের প্রতিটা আমরা যে এরিয়াগুলোতে ফোকাস করলাম, প্রতিটা ইন্ডিভিজুয়ালি এক একটা মেসেজ, সেফ ডেভেলপমেন্টাল, ভলেন্টিয়ার, তারপরে হিউম্যানিটেরিয়ান, সবগুলো একটা মেসেজ, অনলি ওয়ান মেসেজ। তো আমরা যেহেতু আমাদের টার্গেট মেসেজ টু মিলিয়ন্স, again and again, reason why it is coming again and again, because this is our subtopics, and it topics will establish through the next program. Like আমাদের প্রোগ্রামটা আজকেই শেষ না, এটা জাস্ট ইট ইজ স্টার্টিং পয়েন্ট। আজকে আমাদের সামনে নুরিয়া এবং অন্তরা জাস্ট ইন্ট্রোডিউস হলো, বাট নেক্সট ওরা এটাকে ইনিশিয়েট করবে। ওরা ইনিশিয়েট করার জন্য এভরিডে আমাদেরকে only one thing better করতে হবে। What is the better? The power of one. The one song can spark a moment. One flower can wake the dream. One tree can start a forest. One bird can herald spring. One smile begins a friendship. One handshake lifts a soul. One star can guide a ship at sea. One word can frame the goal. One vote can change a nation. One sunbeam lights a room. One candle wipes out darkness. One laugh will conquer gloom. One step must start each journey. One word must start each prayer. One hope will raise our spirits. One touch can show your care. One voice can speak with wisdom. One heart can know what's true. One life can make the difference. You see, it's up to you. Just one. Thank you very much, viewer, for today's session. আপনাদের সবাইকে ধন্যবাদ। আজকে আমি এই বলেই শেষ করছি। আগামী প্রোগ্রামে আপনাদের সাথে দেখা হবে। থ্যাংক ইউ অন্তরা এন্ড নুরিয়া, পলাশ ভাই এন্ড মেহেদি ভাই আমাদের সাথে থাকার জন্য। থ্যাংক ইউ।